once a year.
The jacket gets more use that way.
That's right. That's right. All right. Man, oh, man. All right. Well, first of all, just obviously y'all know there's a lot going on out there, and really excited about our signing day. Christmas is supposed to, I guess, come Monday, but came a little early today. Man, this is awesome. We just signed up a unbelievable group of young men to come to Clemson, and I tell you, it never gets old when guys choose to come be a part of our program. You know, especially with how transparent we are in the process and articulating, you know, who we are, what the expectations and standards are of our program, and for young people to want to come be a part of that type of structure, and is great. So, you know, this is going to be our 4th senior class in a row that's leaving here as the winningest senior class in school history. 4th in a row. You know, this group having won 50 games. So the key word there is they're leaving. So anytime you have great, successful people leaving your program, it's the lifeline of your program to bring quality people in the front door. And you know, I really feel like that's what we've done today. I'm just really excited about it. Proud of our staff. You know, all of our staff, not just the assistant coaches, but, you know, our support, all the people who help us, from creating graphics to the mail to just the logistics of a recruiting visit. There's so much that goes into it in helping us to promote our brand. So just thankful for everyone and the job they've done to help us sign a great class. Last year, we only signed 14 guys. And really excited about that class, and this is going to be another small class. Today is, I think we're going to end up probably somewhere between 13 and maybe as many as 15, maybe today, which is great because we don't have a huge amount of numbers, so it's another small class for us. But the biggest thing is we got 7 guys, 8 that are going to be mid-years. And so for those guys to enroll in school in January here in a few weeks and get started on the process is a great opportunity for them and for us. So looks like I think last year we ended up with about 10 states represented in our recruiting class, and I think that shows the strength of our brand. And we ended up getting Travis Etienne late, a little guy with braces from Jennings, Louisiana. He's turned out pretty good, and you know, I think we'll end up probably signing, I don't know, maybe as many as 5 states in this group today, but a lot of great players and guys that are going to fill some needs. But it's exciting, man. It really is. This is the first time we've had an early signing period, and I mean, I love it. You can put me on record with that. I've been a long-time advocate for an early signing period in football for years. In fact, I presented it at the head coaches meeting at the coaches convention 3 or 4 years ago. Now, I just wish it was earlier. I wish we did it August 1, to be honest with you. And, you know, because there's so many of these guys, you don't have to change anything. All these guys who are committed and know what they want to do, and now if a coach is fired or a coach leaves, then, hey, then they have the opportunity to get out of that in December if there's a change. But an early signing period is just that. It is an opportunity for these young people that know what they want to do to go ahead and formalize the process and not have to sit around and deal with all the drama any longer. And, you know, Trevor Lawrence has been committed since last December, you know, and he would have signed in the summer if he'd have been allowed to. So that's what this is for. It's not a day that everybody has to sign. We've got February. Now, that's a day where you got to make a decision on what you're going to do to go to college. But, You know, this is a day really intended for guys that know what they want to do, and I love it because, again, it cleans the whole process up for the guys who've been committed for a long time. Mike Jones has been committed for 2 years. Pretty much this whole class has been committed forever, and again, it allows guys to go ahead and check that box and get their eyes focused on what's next, and not have to spend January dealing with grown men, still calling them, trying to talk them out of something. So that part of it is a real positive. And then the other side of it is now when you go back out on the road in January, if you got a few juniors leave or something and you got a couple spots, well, you know who to recruit. You know, you're not sitting there waiting on a guy and maybe you got one spot and here's the guy you want, but he's not going to announce till signing day, and this guy wants to come, but if you take him, you can't take him, and so you make some decisions, and then you go wait all the way to the end, and then he's gone and that guy's gone. So I think it just lets you to have a real defined pool of guys to go recruit in January if need be. So I love it, and I think it's a great opportunity for everybody involved, to be honest with you. So and again, plenty of opportunity to go recruit in January. You know, we lost some DBs a couple years ago. Y'all remember that? We went out and recruited Kayvon and Trayvon and Nolan and Isaiah Simmons last part of January. So there's a lot of great players out there. The key is in the evaluation, not the recruiting rankings, not the stars. The key is in the evaluation and knowing who you are and who fits your program and philosophies that you have in place. I think that's the critical part of it. So excited about today and look forward to hopefully maybe adding a couple more before the day's out if it goes our way, and certainly getting back out on the road in January and completing this class with a couple more pieces and probably 2 or 3 preferred walk-ons that we want to bring into this program as well. But overall, a great day for us here at Clemson.
Coach, talk about signing Jackson Carman coming in so late today. Was that a surprise to you and the staff?
I don't know that I can comment on him at this time. I think I've got to have some verification on that. I know we all watch TV and all that stuff, but there's a process in place that you gotta faxes. Still got faxes. But I'll just say that we're excited about all of our guys that we expect to be in this class.
Yeah, but do you you mentioned about having that early signing period in August, knowing with all the stuff that's been out there the last couple months, not just necessarily the other teams getting ready for bowl games and all, do you kind of go back and reevaluate this year with the NCAA?
I don't understand that. It's not any different than it's ever been. There's no difference. We've always been recruiting in bowl games and all that stuff. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is there's a date in December that guys can sign a piece of paper. There's nothing changed. I mean, we're on the road recruiting. If this signing date wasn't here today, guess what? Nothing would have changed in my life the last 3 weeks. Nothing. I'd have still been on the road. I'd have still been doing home visits. I would have been at schools. Would have been bowl prepping. Would have been bowl practicing. Nothing would have changed. The only thing that's different is all these guys that have been committed to us and guys that wanted to make a decision now had the opportunity to do that. So it's 100% to the benefit of the player, in my opinion, because they don't have to sign. Nobody don't have to sign. They can wait. There's lots of guys out there not signing today. But for the guys who've been a part of your class that want to go ahead and have that opportunity to be done with it, it's great. But nothing would have changed for me. Zero. Because even if there wasn't a signing day, you're still on the phone recruiting. You're still texting. You're still, like I said, in schools every day, in homes every night. There's still a dead period, just like we just got into Sunday. So we're in a dead period now. There's nothing different than what it's been in the past. And you know, we're the only sport that doesn't have 2 signing periods. We're the only sport. Which again, that never made any sense to me. Because what has happened, the reason I'd like to see it move up to August, because then we'd cut, I think personally, instead of speeding up the process like we have now, it would slow it down. Because now all these people who make offers, they're not really offers, because then they come back and they go, well, it's a non-committable offer. What is a non-committable offer? What does that mean? don't offer them if you're not willing to take their commitment. Now, when you fill up, you fill up. But I think it would slow some of these people down, offer 9th and 10th graders, and because if they commit, they're going to want to sign in August, and now you're you can't come back at the end of the day and back out on them or something like that. But at the same time, if you did move it earlier, I think that the players have to be protected. If a coach leaves or a coach is fired, then that player should be out of it if he wants to be, and re-sign in February. Go back and reevaluate the process. But you know, it is where it is right now. There was a lot of talk, and they decided to put it here in December because this is the junior college. This has always been the time where the junior college guys could sign, and so they just kind of tied it together with that, which made sense. And like I said, I think personally it really cleans up the month of January in a big way and allows these guys to enjoy their Christmas. And even though we got guys that will sign with us today that aren't coming till the summer, and I'll be on the road in January, I'm still going to go see them. I'm still going to go do a home visit, but there's just no pressure, you know, and I think that's a good thing for everybody.
Coach, you have so much competition at quarterback. What does it say about what the program is, the job Coach Streeter has done, and the special place that Clemson is that you're able to sign a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, I think that just speaks to certainly Streeter and the type of coach he is, how he articulates things in the recruiting process, that you have the quality of young men that we have in that room that want to come here and compete, and they want to play in our offense and what we do. And I think that's, this is the, number one player in the country. And we got good players here. So they all understand competition, and like I said, Trevor committed last December, and has been one of the most low-maintenance recruits I've ever been around. I mean, just, hey, I'm coming, okay, all right, that's it. I mean, it's just nothing to it. He's known what he wants to do, and he's excited about having an opportunity to come in here and compete. And that's what, I mean, my job is to go recruit the best players that I can recruit for Clemson University. And then when they get here, challenge them, grow them, mature them, develop them, and to be in the best version of themselves. And, competition is going to bring out the best in everyone. And at the end of the day, somebody's going to win a job. You're going to have starters, you're going to have backups, and that's life. That's the way it is. So we have a process in place. You go through it and let chips fall where they may. Well, he's just so physically developed for a young guy. Deshaun was obviously pretty special coming out of Georgia, but Deshaun was 180 pounds when he got here. He's 220 now, but this kid's like 210, 12 pounds, 6'6", and so he's just way ahead of Deshaun from a physical standpoint. We'll see where he is mentally and how he transitions and all that once we get here and we start coaching. I don't think that you really know that until you start coaching a guy, but he's been well prepared, well groomed. Man, I mean, he is what they do offensively there, and how he's coached, the structure of their program is tremendous. Coach King does an unbelievable job. So I think that he's got everything that you look for and could possibly want. The game has always not come easy to him, I would say, but he's just been a natural, I would say, from day one. All the way from the 9th grade on. I mean, it's just, and he still works to get better day in and day out. But he's got unbelievable arm talent. That's pretty easy to see when you watch him. But I think he's just a very poised young guy that is a great competitor. And those are some of the things those attributes that we look for at every position. He's been a great leader for his program. He's a very good student, and just a guy that I think knows what he wants and is willing to work for it.
So many of our players come from pretty near campus, in the scheme of things. What's the benefit of that? What's the strategy of that?
Well, I think we're always going to do well or try to do well in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, Alabama, Florida. That's kind of been our that's kind of our bread and butter, if you will. That's our but as our brand has grown, people know Clemson all over the country. So, you know, to be able to pick up the phone with 2 weeks in the recruiting process and call Isaiah Simmons in Olathe, Kansas and say, hey, I got a spot come open, I had a junior leave, I know you got one visit left, he's getting ready to go to Michigan or Nebraska, and I said, would you want to come visit Clemson? Yeah. Fly out there, sit down with the family, talk to them. They come in on the visit, he comes to Clemson. So I think that speaks to our brand, that we can have situations like that, but we also have guys that reach out to us early in the recruiting process now that want to come see Clemson. So our reach is much, much further than probably it's ever been. But our focus will always be from the inside out, always. You know, so there's just a lot of our location, our geographic location, right here off I-85 in Charlotte and Atlanta, and I mean, it's people can get here, and then when people watch us on TV and they see the environment at Clemson, I think these young people, they want to come check it out. And from a Clemson perspective, we know that when someone comes here to visit, most of the time they're going to like Clemson. They may not come, they may go somewhere else, but they're still going to like Clemson. And so that's the best part of our recruiting process, is just getting them on campus.
What's the process to compare the personality of your offensive line as you're taking the D-line, and how that dynamic works?
You know, obviously they have different skill sets, different type of athletes, but I think they're more similar in that both units have incredible cohesion. You know, that's the one thing I think that we have right now. Our defensive line is a very close, tight-knit group. They're together all the time, and it's the same thing with our offensive line. It's just they call themselves the Union. You know, Robbie does a great job, but they're just a very close group. And, you know, they're wired differently. You got to be wired a little differently to be an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. So that there's a difference in I think the mindset that you have to play each position. But the chemistry, the cohesion that you have to have, I think is exactly the same. But at the end of the day, the physicality is where it starts, and you know, that's what we have on both sides of the line.
What's the process like for recruiting for walk-on kind of way from? And how's it different from when you walk on Alabama?
Shoot. Well, you know, there's different levels of walk-ons. You know, you have guys that are preferred walk-ons, and we're going to probably have 2 or 3 of those guys that we'll bring in, and they'll come in on a visit. You know, we have a lot of those guys on our team right now that we feel like, man, they bring something that we need, and they turn out to be good players for us. Hunter was a guy that, you know, we recruited all the way, but we were up front all the way, and that, hey, we're not going to have a scholarship for you, but really think that if you'll come in here, we're going to redshirt you, we're going to try to develop you. We think you got a chance to develop into a good player. And so we have those type of guys. We're probably going to have, you know, he's probably going to have to turn down a small, I mean, we've probably got 4 walk-on wideouts right now that all had scholarship offers, several scholarship offers out of high school at lower levels, that all turned that down to come here. And those guys are, man, they're good players. And so those are the type of guys that, you know, they've got something inside them that usually will shine through, and those guys will find a way to make it on your team and make you better. And we've had a bunch of them like that. I mean, you can go all the way back to Philip Price, our starting left tackle on that first ACC championship team. You know, just a walk-on tight end that I recruited out of Dillon Christian Academy. I'm like, you know what, this kid, and you know, and if you just put the work in it. So you have that type of guy, and then you have others that reach out to us that maybe, you know, hey, we might have a spot if you can get into school, and we'll see how it goes. And then we have tryouts. We do tryouts twice a year. And Hugel was a tryout guy. Our snappers were tryout guys. Outside of Austin, we recruited in here, but Phibbs was a tryout guy. Hey, we like you. We've had a bunch of those guys that have, Teasdall was a tryout guy. So there's lots of different opportunities, and then you have the crawl-on guys like me. You have walk-ons and you have crawl-ons, and that's guys like Costa, okay? You know, he's just last man in, you know, and I was a guy, they didn't recruit me to walk on. I begged them to let me give it a shot, and they made me go through a process, and they'd put you in jail nowadays if we ran it like they did. But you know, just kind of had to go earn the opportunity. So there's a lot of layers to that, and then for me, that's something I pay close attention to, because everybody matters and every spot is critical. And how you pull it all together, I think, is very important to the chemistry of your team.
What does it say about Hunter? His best games of his career are the biggest stages against the best of them.
He's a baller. I mean, he's just a guy that loves. He plays for the joy of the game. You know, he doesn't get paralyzed by the enormity of the moment or the fear of an outcome or the fear of not doing well. He really just loves playing. And I think when you have that type of joy, there's a freedom that comes with that. And he's put the work in. I mean, like I say, he's always been talented. He was 150 pounds, 155 pounds when he got here. Now he's a whopping 180 and, you know, benches 225 1.5 times. But he was benching 135 once when he got here. So, I mean, he's just a guy that as he's worked on his weaknesses, his strengths have started to shine brighter, and just has a lot of confidence. He's a very, very good football player, and I think that's what makes this game great. You know, we get so enamored and caught up from time to time with a guy's measurables, and if they run fast, they're supposed to be great. If they run fast and jump high, they're supposed to be able to catch the ball well or be a great route runner. It doesn't work that way. You know, football players come in all shapes and sizes, and you know, there's just certain things that aren't going to show up in the measurables and all that stuff. But when you step between the lines, it's just something happens, and football players shine through. Whether it be instincts, whether it be toughness, whether it be football IQ, whether it be technique and fundamentals. There's just so many things that ultimately separate guys from the pack. And that's why a guy like me could play.
In your mind, you know, if you win a second title, do you think it would sort of change this era of college football? This has sort of been the Alabama decade in a lot of ways. Or do you think you guys have already sort of done that?
You know, I mean, you know, maybe if we can win it, you ask me that question. Maybe I'll think about it then. You know, I just don't really sit around and think about it. I can tell you this: we don't have to go win the national championship this year for me to think anything different about our program. I mean, I don't care what happens in the Superdome. Good, bad, great, nothing is going to change where we are as a program or where we're going. Nothing. So, I mean, we'll go win the game. We'll go win another national championship. But I just don't define who we are, where we're going by that. Other people may, and all that, and it's a good storyline. But I just don't think that way. I just stay focused on what matters to me, and that is the relationships that we have here. You know, how we do things. And, you know, you'll win some games, you'll lose some games, but how we do things, the type of young men that we produce, the amount of graduates that we have, the experience that they have here, that's what I stay focused on. And I just think that keep the main thing, you have a chance to stay grounded. Otherwise, you know, all of a sudden that becomes the drive. And that has never been, winning the national championship has never been the driving force, ever. It's just a byproduct of what can happen. And so hopefully we'll get it again. And if it doesn't work out this year, we'll have another swing at it.
Was it easier for this team to sort of make that transition just because it was so different from last year? I mean, it's two totally different.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. I think the one thing that last year did, just where we were in our journey after 8 years, was just kind of validation. You know, because our guys truly believed and they thought they were good enough. I think they know they are. And they don't need to win the game to know that they are. They know that they're good enough. They could lose the game. it's not going to change anything the way anybody thinks around here. I mean, we're playing Alabama. I mean, I know they're the 4 seed, and this is supposed to be the easy draw, right? But we're playing Alabama. And when you play Alabama, there's a good chance you get beat. That's life. But if you get beat, you get beat. You had a great year. You move on to the next year. You start over, and man, let's go do it again. It was a blast. It was so much fun. But man, we're going to do everything we can to win these 4 quarters, so that we have a chance to go play another one and have one more pregame meal, one more little week together. But we'll see what happens. But I just nothing is going to change, how our guys think. Come February, we're going right back to work. And March 1, we're going to be in spring ball. And this summer, we're going to be grinding. And next year, we're opening up with Furman, I think. And then we're going to Texas A&M. And I can't wait. So, I mean, it's just got a bunch of guys, new guys coming in here. I'm excited about that. There's so much to look forward to. So I don't really need any of that. I think we're way past all of that. I mean, we won 61 games in 5 years. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I think that we've proven at Clemson that there's nothing that we can't do, on or off the field. And, so now it's just about just day in and day out, just staying focused on trying to be the best we can be.